Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today we're talking about the curse that is Zoom meetings. So since the advent of the pandemic, and all the whole global crisis, people cannot meet in person, right? For fear of spread of the virus. So whether it be college kids doing a project, or school children in class, or business fools in their goddamn business meetings, everybody just wants to sit on a Zoom call for some reason. And I absolutely hate it. Now I know what you're thinking. You might be asking, what the frick, Pegasus? I thought you don't like going outside. Surely you must love Zoom meetings then, right? Because it's better for you. It's an alternative where you don't actually have to go outside. And you will be correct in your assessment that I do prefer online platforms and just calling instead of actually going somewhere and doing something because, I don't like physically moving. But I'll tell you why I don't like going outside, right? One of the reasons is because it is a massive waste of time, alright? Everybody just takes so long to do things that could be done way faster if you just called, right? And Zoom meetings have absolutely not solved this problem at all. So I've kind of realized the problem is with the humans themselves. It's not really the fact that you're going outside or inside. If people want to completely waste time, they will do that, alright? For some reason, I think Zoom meetings are actually worse in wasting time, and that is a very scary statement. So join me today, fellas, in the journey we go through looking at Zoom meetings. Subscribe if you're new, or I don't know, man, you'll have to sit in a 56-hour Zoom call non-stop with your 3 least favorite people in the world. Alright, so starting with point number 1, right? The time waste in Zoom meetings. This is just insufferable, okay? So pretty much, okay, we have a Zoom meeting at 1 p.m. 5 students are gonna gather together and discuss a certain project, right? This is typically what will happen. One guy will show up at 1 p.m. Another guy will show up at 1:05. Another guy will be like, oh, I was having lunch, like, alright, 1:30 then, okay, dude. And then what ends up happening is that there's like 2 people muted in a call, and we're just waiting for these 3 other incompetent losers who didn't realize what the time was and gave absolutely no indication that they weren't gonna get there on time. So let's assume everybody shows up at 1:30. Very unlikely, by the way, okay? You have all 5 students at 1:30. Oh my god, you're just gonna start off, get to work on the project, and finish it off in a zippy zap zip zap. Or so you thought in your feeble-minded fantasy, you moron. Essentially what happens is, okay, all 5 people are in the meeting call. Someone says, should we start? Right? Or like one person unmutes their mic, they're like, oh, should we start? And then one other person will respond in like 2 minutes, like, sure. And then everybody mutes their mic again. Nothing happens for another 30 minutes. It's like, what is even going on? Does everyone have like crippling shyness or something? Jesus Christ. We all 5 know each other. We talk to each other. Like, you don't have to be an idiot about it. You straight up go yapping your mouth 24/7, but you can't speak up for 3 seconds in a goddamn Zoom call, dude, where the only purpose we're there is to finish our work and that's the only time we can leave. Literally, you staying quiet is wasting every single person's time, so please, goddamn it, just end my misery. So essentially it starts off and, somebody's like, hey dude, let's make a Google document where we can like type together. Wow, never thought of that one, dude. Brilliant idea, thanks. Thanks for recommending something while everybody's doing nothing. By the way, it's already like 2:30, alright? We haven't written a single sentence or brainstormed any idea whatsoever. The majority of this meeting is just complete silence. It's actually fascinating what the Zoom meeting does to your brain. You think you mute the mic and the other people just don't exist. They're not waiting for you or anything, right? Absolute idiots. Jesus Christ. So essentially the meeting boils down to teams of students sitting down for like 4 hours straight, saying pretty much nothing to each other at all, and throughout the duration of the 4 hours, they accomplish what seems about 5 minutes of work, alright? I don't know what it is. Do they just become like unable to function because they're on a Zoom call? I don't know. It's the curse of the Zoom, I swear to God. You might be asking, how did this 5 minutes of work even happen if they're literally just sitting there doing absolutely nothing? Well, one team member, one sad little poor soul, soul has to work up the courage to break up the most awkward 17-minute silence, right? He has to break it up, break up the idiocy going on, and remind everyone of the fact that we've done 5 minutes of work in about 6 hours, and we actually gotta do something. So please, open your goddamn mouth and do something useful with your life. So pretty much at this point, you write down your ideas in the Google Doc, and everyone's like, oh my god, I wrote a sentence, I'm contributing so much to this goddamn project. Like, I swear to god, you know there's like peer evaluation, and like, oh, yeah, it's meant to like, prevent any like freeloader. Team members are doing everything, but what happens if 4 team members are doing absolutely nothing, and it's one person doing everything? What, you're gonna give everyone a bad peer evaluation? The professor is not gonna believe you. He's literally gonna be like, alright, you're probably the salty, lazy one. Like, you can't even do anything. It's such a broken system. Peer evaluation is dumb. It's built on the fact that the majority of human beings are decent people, which is completely false. Like, if you've existed in human society for a minuscule second, you would know that's completely false. Such a stupid system, goddamn. And this last Zoom meetings, oh my god. So, we've got these 30 students in a class, right? We've got one boomer teacher who just sucks at the most basic technology. Like, they couldn't, if you told them Alt F4 is a secret that gives you $1,000, they would spam that shit. Okay? It's like your teacher has a double PhD in law or something, yet they can't operate a basic Zoom meeting. It's like, it just doesn't add up. I swear to god, these bookie people, dude, you can't. They only know one thing in their life and nothing else. Essentially, let's say class starts at 10 a.m., right? So everybody's joining the Zoom call. Usually it'll start at like 1:10 because the teacher is waiting for these 2 or 3 students, which, in my opinion, just wait like 5 minutes and then start the goddamn class. Alright, you don't need to postpone it any longer. If they're literally 10 minutes late, they'll find out later, they'll ask a friend to stop holding up 30 other people's time, you know? Like, I don't understand. You think you're being nice, but you're actually just being a dickhead to the other 30 students, you know? So pretty much what happens is class starts, alright? The teacher starts talking, and every single student has their mic muted, as they should, right? Occasionally somebody will unmute their mic and you'll hear some like some straight up weird blowing noise, some alien UFO in the background, some weird moaning or something. Something's gonna happen, alright? But honestly, in my experience, for the most part, students just stay muted all the time, right? Now, the problem comes when the teacher expects actual functioning human beings to be attending their class. So teachers usually love having some sort of validation in their life, right? They want some interaction because they don't want to be speaking to a wall, right? They don't want to be a viewer donating money to a Twitch streamer and them not just acknowledging them at all. So essentially what the teacher does is they ask a question to the class that anybody can answer. And there's like 7 minutes. It's just embarrassing, honestly. It's like 7 minutes of straight silence. And you're like, okay, well, nobody wants to answer this question. Like, honestly, like 28 out of 30 students know the answer, but nobody wants to speak up because it is so incredibly awkward. Like, just a dead silent room, and you don't want to be the guy that answers a question for some reason. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing it, but I don't know. There's just this paralyzing fear of just answering a question. It's the curse of the Zoom meeting. I swear to God. So essentially, the teacher is just like left hanging there for like 7 minutes straight, and you just feel really bad, and you're like, you go and answer the question, and then it's back to like dead silence. A few minutes later, the teacher asks another question. Nobody answers at all, and then the teacher is getting really frustrated at this point. Like, oh, my previous class had way more interaction. Like, sure they did, buddy. Now, the only way to fight against this like interaction thing is probably have some sort of incentive, right? Maybe class ends earlier if you answer the questions. Maybe you get extra credit if you answer questions. Like, there's absolutely no incentive. Like, if the purpose is just participating in class, literally nobody's gonna do anything. Everybody is sadly just grade-minded, alright? If there's a test that doesn't count towards the final grade, everyone will get 0, right? That's just how it works. So now, what does the teacher do? The teacher is getting really annoyed. Nobody's answering their questions in a class full of 30 students, and everybody knows the answer, but they're not answering. So the teacher says, okay, I'm just gonna start calling out names. And then a fear is stricken in every student's heart, right? Everybody gets immediate anxiety. They're like, oh my god, he's gonna call my name, and I wouldn't know what to do. So the teacher just calls a random name, and usually this random name just doesn't respond. It's like the teacher is like, Isabel, and like there's no response. Isabel, like okay, absolutely no response whatsoever. So this goes on for a straight minute. Did Isabel disconnect from the call? No, they're probably sitting there in dead silence, just not wanting to respond. And then sometimes, honestly, it's like the cameras are off. Some teachers are nice, they're like, alright, no cameras, so they're like, Isabel, turn on your camera, and like, oh no, what if you were like literally not at the spot, you went to the toilet, you're watching an episode of Naruto, right? Because that's what I would do in a Zoom meeting, honestly. What happens then, there's no response, and it's just really awkward, and the teacher is like blatantly disrespected. Like the Zoom meeting setup is the perfect setup for just absolute humiliation and failure on both sides, the teacher side, the student side, and it's just a complete waste of time. Like 45 minutes have passed and you're just repeating someone's name. Nobody's giving answers. There's zero interaction. It's just pathetic. I genuinely feel for teachers who have to get onto a Zoom call and teach a class of brain dead 30 students who have no interest in what they're learning. It's a tough job. I don't know what to say. So pretty much the class continues, and usually in my experience there's like this one teacher's pet kind of guy who's just having like this one-on-one conversation with the teacher, just question answer repeated back and forth, and essentially we are just 29 spectators, right, watching this conversation. And honestly, I feel kind of bad even calling this guy a teacher's pet, because he's the only one like actually validating the teacher and giving them a reason to live, so big ups to this guy actually. And the real frustrating part about Zoom meetings, I don't know if you guys have this as well, but pretty much the teacher never, and I repeat, never ends on time. It's always like half an hour later. A couple students joined late, so we need to extend the class by 30 minutes. No, like the class time is 10 to 12, not a second later. You're taking up my valuable anime time. This is disgusting, inhumane. Watch the teacher sit there and explain to you for 15 minutes why they need 15 minutes extra in the class. Like, it's the stupidest thing, and this is genuinely happening. I'm like, just shut up and if you use that time to just do what the material, instead of telling us why you need extra time. Oh my god, you have a double PhD, but I want to slap you in the face. I don't get it, man. No joke, I had this one time where I was sitting in a Zoom meeting for 4 straight hours, and I think the total sum of our talk time, right, the time where the team members and I were talking, were amounted to about, let's say, 17 minutes. So the entire Zoom call was just silence and nobody said anything. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody was just doing their own stuff in the background, but like, why sit there for 4 hours? Just finish off what we have to do. It was a 20-minute job. Just finish it off and move on, man. I'm so frustrated. Alright, I'm gonna lose my mind, man. I'm sure a bunch of you have already. The curse of the Zoom meeting is just something all of us have had to experience. It is disgustingly, mind-bendingly boring and completely against all logic and reasoning, and it pisses me off. I wish you soldiers the best of luck in the war of the Zoom meeting. Anyways, fellas, that's about it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Smash the like button if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day ahead, and try to survive, alright? I'm with ya. Alright, bye-bye.